Hey, beautiful goddesses. This is Brenda Edelman. How are you doing? I am live. How cool. Let me see if I can pull it up in the group. I never have been able to pull it up in the group on my phone for some reason. So I'm not sure where it lands, but it does come up later. So try it again in another minute. I am so excited to be here with you. I decided to give you some tools on forgiveness, forgiving your father, so that knowing that we're coming up to Father's Day, that you could have a great Father's Day. You could have the most amazing Father's Day ever. Look, I have been coaching on this since 2005, so I actually know what's going on behind the scenes. I know what a struggle it is. But I've also been teaching my entrepreneurial clients how to embrace the masculine that they may still unconsciously be judging because they judge their father or a father figure or the masculine, so they're judging it in themselves. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try one more time. Tell me if you're here. That's the best way to know this is live. That's what happened last time. Some people were like, yes, I'm here. And then that helped because then I knew you guys could hear me. Let me just pull it up one more time, see if it works. There I am. Awesome. And someone's here. Say hello. Say hello to me. So I want to share a few things. Oh, I hope you guys, there are people that are on this live so that I can answer your questions. Also, if you're on the replay, hashtag replay. Hey, Tanya. Wonderful. Thanks so much for coming on and supporting me. And please, if this is a topic that is close to your heart, use me, use my experience. I have been coaching since 2005. I have a Hero of Forgiveness award. I was honored to receive that. It certainly is an award I didn't know was even out there. I've done a lot of work with women prisoners, youth at risk. I've taught workshops in spiritual communities for kids in high school. Like, I have taught this. This is dear to my heart. I'm usually teaching about storytelling, healing from our stories, but with Father's Day coming up, I just know that it is a trigger for people. And I also know from my coaching clients that sometimes there is a disconnect and a way that they are stopping themselves because they have some extreme judgments of their father or the masculine. So I wanted to go over that. But again, I love this to be interactive. So anyone else is here, please ask me questions. I would love to answer them for you from my experience. So I thought I would just start with, if you're watching this, really be intentional. What do you want to experience regarding forgiveness or forgiveness of these qualities that I'm going to bring up in a little bit, the qualities that we associate with the masculine that can be inside of us, right? And so if they're inside of us and we're denying them, we are not embracing them, right? Some things that come, well, and we're also how it works as a business is you're judging other people who have them. So for example, I'll lead with this, not at all in the order of my notes, is, my father was a very, very big businessman, but I saw him as someone who loved money. Like, money was his God. Well, so when I started out and as an entrepreneur, I had a really hard time charging. Like, I remember, and I've been working a long time now, I remember getting on discovery calls and just like giving without having a sales process or a strategy in place, because, and this was unconscious at the time, I did not want to be like my father, who had a really big business. He had no problem charging for his services. You know what I'm saying? And that's a masculine, like, in the world thing. Like, I remember years ago, my ex brother-in-law was very, very wealthy, and I used to judge him as like, God, he's such a, he's always trying to make a dime. Without realizing it's great. If you're in business, make money. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Like, for those of us who are empaths and want to make an impact, there shouldn't be a break and like you either help people or you make money. It is actually, having a business is a spiritual experience, right? So it is asking us to grow. If we want a thriving business, we must charge for our services, right? Okay, I definitely want to touch on the father stuff too. So I know there's a few people here. Please ask questions, but let's go over this a little bit. I just say, be intentional. So if you're here, you're watching this, be intentional. What do you want to get out of this? This is a very personal subject, and I'm relating it to business and to your life. Do you want to experience, since we're dealing with Father's Day, that's why I decided to do this topic. Do you want to learn something here that has you experience Father's Day as a day of celebration? Like I remember years ago, I used to freaking shop during Father's Day, but it could be any addiction. It could be any distraction, right? Or I would be like sad in the beginning. My mom died in 1995. My father killed her in 1995. I used to be so sad, like everybody else had families or fathers and stuff like that. So, how do you shift that? And actually, in the third step of my forgiveness process, I teach how to forgive that. What I'll say here, it's not in order, but I used to volunteer at a big hospital in Los Angeles, and I also one holiday. This was holidays, not Father's Day, but it could be Father's Day. I volunteered to give food to people who are homeless. So it took me out of my own self, right? It was realizing some people have it worse, some people have it better than me. Okay, so be intentional. What would you like to experience here? Would you like to experience a real shift so that you can embrace the masculine in yourself that you might think is holding you back because you're judging this part of yourself? Like another example of a masculine quality that could be judged is the ability to compartmentalize. Now, we can always choose what we want to use and not use, but you want to be conscious of it. So some masculine qualities could be compartmentalizing, like men can more easily compartmentalize than women can. But what if you need to compartmentalize? I actually think that stops a lot of people when you look at visibility, right? Because I teach storytelling and video presentation as well. If you don't know how to compartmentalize, that's the next step of fearing judgment. You fear judgment from other people, but if you're able to compartmentalize, like, who gives a shit about that? That's not what is on your heart to do. On your heart, it is to share what you know and to help people, so you don't care. So you use that quality of compartmentalizing that you might judge. Like I've had clients that judge their fathers for not being present enough with them and stuff like that. But it could be compartmentalizing and extreme focus. Like that's a great thing. Of course, also embracing all the embodiment of the feminine because you want to have an integration, right? Okay, again, say hello. Oh, great. We don't have Father's Day where I'm from. Oh, where are you from, Tanja? I was thinking that as I was saying Sunday is Father's Day. I'm like, I wonder if it's only in America that has Father's Day, or if it's different times in different places. Tell me that. I would love to know. I'm just learning to honor it for my husband, my baby's father. My dad is out of the picture by choice. It's wonderful to be able to set a healthy boundary and not have your father in the picture if he is someone who has hurt you, who has endangered you, who has never shown remorse, regret, and has done things that have betrayed you. I totally encourage that. I do have, and I have a present for everybody here, actually. In my book, My Father Killed My Mother and Married My Aunts, Forgiving the Unforgivable, which, by the way, anyone who is here live, I'm going to gift you a digital copy of it. Otherwise, it's on Kindle. It is part memoir and part workbook with my 3-step proven forgiveness process. I have a couple of chapters in there. One is on setting hard boundaries, and then the next chapter is setting healthy boundaries, right? So actually, it sounds like you made a great decision. I remember when I first cut my dad out, I cut my dad out of my life versus him not being in the picture, but it was a hard boundary because I could not, like, he never answered my questions. He always, like, I just never felt like I could speak up, and I cut him out of my life, which was really important. And this is not just for you, this is for everyone. But even thinking about him, because I did it unconsciously, but I needed to protect myself, would make my whole day just horrible. And so I shifted to measuring how I felt when I thought about him, all in my power, and then did the forgiveness work that I teach so that I could forgive him, turn my hard boundary, where my heart was close to him, but it was close to me as well, turn it into a healthy boundary, which was, I decided not to have him in my life versus, oh, I hate him and I have to protect myself, like that. I live in Canada, but come from Slovenia. Well, maybe they have Father's Day there now. Cool. Slovenia. I feel like I went there. Slovakia is different than Slovenia. My brother lives in Austria, and I do remember like taking a bus drive. I wonder if it was Slovenia. Yep, he's out. The energy is too toxic, and it took me becoming a mother to make that decision. Congratulations. That is such a hard decision. I know it's a hard decision. Like, we are just so trained to be in these relationships of origin that hurt us instead of saying, I don't have to do that. Like, whatever it takes. You know what? For me, I forgave my dad for killing my mom, but I also took him to court for wrongful death. And that decision actually helped him be out of my life. And I did it from a place of self honor and self love instead of revenge. So good for you, because I do have I have a lot of clients that in the past and people I've talked to that are like, but I have to have this person in my life because they're my parents. And of course, that's not true. Whenever we feel we have to do something, there's an opportunity to look deeper. Okay, let's see. All right. Thank you for speaking with me, because I like having people here. It's much more fulfilling for me. So, all right, what is forgiveness and why practice it? I already gave you a few reasons. There's personal reasons and there's also professional reasons. You could be still angry at your father and not even know that you are putting that anger and projecting onto other men. But what if you want, we'll talk about business, what if you want to have a collaboration with a man, but you don't trust him because of something that's unconscious? I'm not ever talking about not using discernment. I'm talking about looking at your unconscious beliefs so that you can have the best, most successful life. Okay. So, 5 reasons to never forgive and why you must. I have a lot on my pages, so let me see what I can get to here. Sounds incredible. I'm sure going to devour your book. Wonderful. Yes, so you'll get it. So after this, will you please DM me so that I can give you the link? I'm only going to give the book for free for people who come live, because you know why? I want people to come to my lives. But also it's available in Kindle for people. My father killed my mother and married my aunt, Forgiving the Unforgivable. And you will get the digital copy. Thank you for requesting it, but DM me. Also, if we're not friends, friends me, or right here, I DM'd you. Let's see what I can get through. I also have a special that I'll mention at the very end for a 30-day program that I do. I'm currently doing it, so it's not open right now. We're doing the last week, which is 30 days of lessons on forgiveness, healing, living your best life, called Phoenix Rising. All right, 5 reasons I have gotten from people over the years to never forgive, because I've done a lot of workshops on this. If I forgive this person, I'm condoning what he did. Nope, you are not condoning what they did. You are just letting go of the anger that you hold in your body that that person is not. That's all. It's never about condoning. I do not say, oh, my father killed my mother, I condone it. No, of course not. But the anger I was holding inside of me was shutting me down, keeping me small, not allowing me to connect with other people, not allowing me to love, all that stuff, not allowing me to tell my story. Forgiveness is for you. Okay, second one, my anger assures me that this person will never be in my life again. Sounds good. And it is an initial step. When I talked about hard boundaries, sometimes you have to do that, but it's a step. If you keep that like cutting the person out, it turns in on itself. And you ironically are keeping them more in your life because they're in your head because of the anger. Because if you can neutralize that and apply loving to those parts inside you that hurt, then that anger goes away and that the thoughts of the person isn't there anymore. Okay, aren't there anymore. They will hurt you again if you forgive. Here's the irony too. Once you let go of that anger and that unforgiveness, your triggers are less. So even though you feel like maybe cutting them out is a good thing, if you don't heal the other stuff, the residual stuff that's not there, it's shocking how the characteristics that that person had, your father in this case, or someone masculine that you judge, they will show up either in other people that are near you that you might, or you'll get like a hairline like trigger, and then unleash on people who don't deserve it, which by the way I talk about healthy release of anger is very important. And I have many trainings on that in my Phoenix Rising program, because I did not really get in touch with my anger for 6 years after my mom died. And I know that was the reason I call it lashing in on myself. Like I was practicing some addictions, things like that I could beat myself up on about, so that I didn't have to think about what really happened, which is I hate my father for doing this. How could he have done it? So it's all about bringing the unconscious to conscious awareness so you can love yourself. All my work is about loving yourself. Okay, let's see. I say hi if you're here. And if you have any questions, pop them in here. If you're here live before we end in 12 minutes, you can get a copy of my book, My Father Killed My Mother and Married My Aunt, Forgiving the Unforgivable. It is half memoir and half my proven 3-step forgiveness process. Okay, number 4 of the 5 reasons why you can never forgive and why you must is, who would I be if I forgave them? I'll tell you who you'll be. And these are all things that people would say when they would come to my workshop. So I can't forgive my father. I can't forgive my mother. I can't forgive my brother. I can't forgive the uncle. And believe me, we'll go in step number 5. You'll see what I mean by how some things really seem to be unforgivable. But who you will be is someone who doesn't identify as the person who went through that or holds on to the anger for that. Okay. And number 5, what happened to me was just too horrible. Look, I have been teaching storytellers and clients. I've been teaching clients coaching since 2005 and 6, and I have been teaching storytellers how to heal from their stories and share their stories effectively on stage since 2014, in addition to performing my own one-woman show all over the world since well over 15 years on and off. People share with me their personal things. Like I've taught over 200, I've given over 200 people the stage in the last couple of years alone. So I know what's out there. I know the abuse that's out there. I know the depression. I know the mental illness. I know the suicides in family. I know how much shame. I know how much guilt. I know how many things people have been through that you, oh my God, people are so resilient. Like I know what people are going through that could seem like it would break them, but it breaks them open. So I am never condoning, and I am never saying it's not horrible what you went through. I am sure it was. And forgiving is not about, like, I don't even believe forgiving is forgetting. What it is it's about forgetting the emotional impact, kind of healing through that emotional impact. That's why people do tapping and stuff like that. It's healing that emotional impact, but not forgetting what happened. Because if you forget what happened, that's when you let the abuser back into your life, or that's when you can attract other people with those qualities, right? Okay. Next is really important is forgiving yourself. Yep, it's freeing yourself, releasing their energy. Exactly, releasing their energy, right? Releasing the impact they have had on you. If we keep it, we're actually letting them impact us when oftentimes they're long gone, right? My father died in 2004. If I was still like, so angry, not only would I not be able to trust a man, not only would I not be able to be in good relationships, my business wouldn't have taken off because I have him in my ear. Like, can I tell my story, this and that? It is really, really, really for you and letting go of their energy. Absolutely. So all of my work is about forgiving yourself. So if you've been caught in unforgiveness, if you've been caught in anger toward a father you wish they would be different for you, I invite you to love yourself and let go of those judgments. I actually let me see how quickly I can. What I do with my clients is I help them identify the judgments that are present, right? So you can just take time alone and identify the judgments that you still might have of the masculine. Could be that you think men abandon you. But here's what I ask you, because this is about business too. If that is something you feel and there's an energy around it versus it being discernment, where do you abandon yourself? That's a big one. So I'm going to leave you with that one instead of going to a whole bunch of other things that I have here. Where do you abandon yourself? Give yourself compassion for that. Is it that you're not trusting yourself to invest? Is it that you're not trusting yourself to be able to share a story without breaking down? You can get skills, you can hire someone to get skills for that. I teach that. But is it that you have abandoned someone else and are so mad at yourself for doing that? And you feel like, how could I have done that? It's time for you to forgive yourself. Something simple. They would say in my master's in spiritual psychology, the wording of it would be, I forgive myself for judging myself as abandoning myself for dating men that weren't emotionally present for me. That's a past one. That the way past, when I did this work, that stopped, So you think about what it is for you, and then you change it semantically, because words are powerful. And then let me just share in closing. Oh, there's so much more here. Hold on. Let me see what else I can leave you with. There's a lot of stored energy in the unforgiveness. It does cause illness. It does cause isolation. It causes a lack of intimacy. It causes a lack of energy. So an affirmation I can leave you with is, I'm releasing the stored energy around the judgments that I hold, setting healthy boundaries so that I can enjoy a more prosperous business. I like that one. Okay, that's one that you can use. You can also apply it to personal life as well. All right, let me look. Okay, I'll say this. Healthy anger release is a very, very important thing. I know that it took me a full 6 years to get to that first level of huge breakthrough around my father, because I didn't know a healthy way to let go of my anger. I couldn't even identify with it, because in my family, and a lot of women have this, we're taught not to be angry. Like, it's more okay to be sad than angry. So I was sad a lot, which then led to depression, but underneath was this seething anger. First of all, if you have that, please go to a therapist. I'm not a therapist. But also in my program, Phoenix Rising, which is starting again on July 1st. I'm in the last week of it, my 4-week program right now, which is about forgiving God, but it's about forgiving yourself the first week, forgiving your mother, forgiving your father, forgiving God. I have exercises that you can do to forgive yourself and let go of any kind of emotions that are really big in a healthy way, coming from the foundation of the work I teach is from my master's in spiritual psychology, and then all the work I did to make sure I had the best life, forgiving my father, embracing myself, loving myself, learning to trust myself, my master's program, primal scream workshop, acupuncture. I mean, it goes on and on in addition to teaching this for so long. So Phoenix Rising, I want to offer you something here. I realize, because I've been really focused on my storytelling, and I love doing that, but the world is in such a place that I feel like I have something that I can give. I downloaded Phoenix Rising, a 30-day journey into and through forgiveness to freedom, about 4 years ago. And it's a do-it-yourself program normally for the price that it is. And I've let it live 4 times. I let it live 3 times in the past, the last time before the pandemic. And then I decided from my heart I wanted to do it again. And so I'm in the 4th week of it. What I mean by it's live is that normally you get a lesson a day. Now you get a lesson a day, but we're also in the container of a Facebook group that's private, where you can post your assignments so I can witness the shifts. The shifts are huge, as they always are. And you can ask your questions to me. I have a few alumni in there, because it's like peeling a lemon, right? Or an onion, they say. It's like layer by layer how much healing you can have. It's so amazing. I have this is my life's work, so I cannot keep it to myself anymore. And it actually helps me to be able to hold the energy for you guys. And so I have it on sale. It's starting live on July 1st. It's going to be the second time I'm running it live since last month. As soon as you sign up, you are going to get the first lesson. But on July 1st, we're going to do it as a group, but you'll get the lessons so you can start reading them. The first week is all about self-forgiveness. And what I did is, because it is early, but I'm so encouraged by having this movement of people having these tools. You don't have to go to a master's degree for 2 years. You don't have to do all the things that I have done. This unforgiveness gets in the way of everything. So what I'm going to do is, when you sign up, first of all, you get $70 off. I'm doing it for $70 off right now, even though it's live, not just a do-it-yourself version. And through Tuesday, I am going to gift, I wrote that down, wow, a 1 hour coaching session with me, which is worth $300 only through Tuesday. I don't know what the date is there, but only through Tuesday coming up. I'm going to do that because it's early bird and I want to get you started, and you will be getting the lessons right away within 24 hours. And then starting next Wednesday, people in this group, it'll still be the same price, $70 off from the page. There's a coupon code on there. You will get a 30-minute coaching session with me, which is worth $150. So I would do it sooner if you know that forgiveness is something that you struggle with, or you know you could get a deeper level of healing with. It changes everything in your life as far as creating loving relationships, being able to trust yourself, setting healthy boundaries. One of the exercises is about having the power of choice, and things like that. And then after that, starting Thursday the 29th, I'm gifting people in here when you sign up a 15-minute call versus 30 minutes or an hour. Okay, so I will post that in here. Let me see if there's any questions. Oh, and you do get, for being here live, DM me, let me know right here that you want that book. And if you want to join Phoenix Rising, I'll send you to the sales page. Check in, go within your heart. I've priced it very reasonable so that, let me see. I think it's less than $5 a day. I think it comes out. Yeah, it's less than $5 a day, the way I've priced it with the discount, because this is my movement. This is what I want to share. This is my gift to you. So let's see. Stephanie, hi, says, beautiful Brenda. I love your work. Merci for your doing the forgiveness. It's the only weapon that's going to keep us alive in the current attack as humans. Thank you. That's true. That is so interesting to call forgiveness the weapon, but like, that makes me cry. It is so true. And that's why I was guided to offer this now for this price and to do it live, because the world is under attack, and we can heal it by healing ourselves, because our healing can heal the world one person at a time. Absolutely. I would love to have you guys in Phoenix Rising. We are powerful together, and have an incredible, incredible day. Thank you so much for coming. And Stephanie, I didn't know if you saw, but everybody who's here live on here can get my book. My Father Killed My Mother and Married My Aunt, Forgiving the Unforgivable, a digital copy for free. My gift to you. Okay.